بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the help of Allah, we started to have a brief interpretation of Quran. We were talking about chapter Baqara. This chapter has 287 verses, and it is revealed in Medina, the longest chapter of Quran. Please listen to verse 1 and 2.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
In this verse, Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This book, there is no doubt in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, and it is a guide to those who guard, those who have piety, those who protect themselves from committing sin and following the Satan. We explained this sentence, that why Allah says هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ at the same time that in other verses we read that the Quran is هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ. Verse 185 of chapter Baqarah, when Allah says شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ. The holy month of Ramadan is the month that the holy book of Allah, Quran, is revealed in it, and it is a guide for all people. We said, when Allah says هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, at the same time that Quran can guide all people, but it depends to ourselves that we get the message or we become stubborn. Stubborn, it means to understand the truth, but not to follow it. This is in our hand. Quran is helping those people who wants to help themselves. When they say this medicine is helping whoever is sick, it means if you take the tablet, if you follow the prescription and the directions, if you follow it, it is going to help you. Quran is guidance for all people, and it is going to guide, but it depends to you to follow it or not. If some Muslim countries, we see that they have a lot of problem at the same time that we say Quran is a guide for all Muslims. We should say that yes, it is a guide if the people of the country, if the Muslims will follow and practice it. If we say the doctor is the best doctor, it means if you follow his prescription, if you fill the prescription and take the tablets and syrup and anything he says as he says. If we follow the Quran, Quran is helping for all. Because of that, Allah says, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a guide for those people who wants to protect themselves. It is exactly the same. This doctor or the medicine is for whoever sick and he wants to help himself. Otherwise, Quran is mentioning in different verses that Quran is not helping or a guide for this group of people. For example, in chapter Tawbah, verse 80, Allah says, the Holy Quran is not going to guide the transgressing people. Allah says, وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. and Allah does not guide the transgressing people. It means if you are not helping yourself, if you do not care what is good or what is bad, Quran is not going to guide you, and definitely the Holy Book is not going to help you at all. In another verse, chapter Ma'idah, verse 51, Allah is talking about oppressors, unjust people. Allah says, Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin. Surely Allah does not guide the unjust people. At the same time that Quran is hudan lin-nas, and Allah has sent it. But Allah says in this verse that Allah is not going to guide those who are unjust, those who are oppressing other people. In chapter Ma'idah, verse 67, Allah is talking about disbelievers. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-kafirin. O Messenger, you should know that Allah is not going to guide the nation who does not believe in Allah. Those who are disbelievers, Allah is not going to guide them. Of course, again we emphasize that Quran is the guide for whoever wants to get the message. If a person doesn't want to get the message, Allah doesn't do anything. It means Allah does not guide, or Quran does not guide by force. It is showing the path. It is a guide, it means it shows the path. But hudan lil muttaqin, it means really they get the benefit out of Quran because they practice. Another verse in chapter Zumar, verse 3, Allah says, a person who does not believe in Allah or he's a liar, definitely Allah is not going to guide him. Inna Allah la yahdi man huwa kadhibun kaffar. Surely Allah does not guide him right who is a liar, ungrateful. A person who does not appreciate Allah's favors, does not fulfill his duties and responsibilities, Allah is not going to guide him. Another verse, chapter Ghafir, verse 28, Allah is talking about those people who are extravagant, those people who accuse others and who are liars. In this verse, also Allah emphasized that Allah is not going to guide this group of people. Inna Allah la yahdi man huwa musrifun kadhab. Surely Allah does not guide him who is extravagant, a liar. So, as a conclusion, Quran is a guide for all people, and it is a guide only for pious people, for those who protect themselves and guard themselves. How? It is a guide, it means He shows the way to all the people. And it is useful for those who are righteous, it means those who practice. Quran is going to save them. In another way we can say al-hidayah imma ira'atu al-tariq wa imma isal ila al-matlub. Either the guidance means to show the way, or either means the another meaning for the guidance, it means to help you to reach the destination. Sometimes when you ask a person in the road, please, where is such an address? Sometimes he gives you a direction. Go 100 kilometers, then on the right, then on the left, then go 10 meters, and you will get it. This is showing the direction. And sometimes he says, follow me. Take your hand and take you to destination. Here when we say guidance for all, it means showing the direction to all. And hudan lil muttaqin, it means take their hands and take to destination. for those people who practice Quran and follow it. There are a few messages that we can get from this verse. One, when Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, this holy book, there is no doubt in it. In Arabic literature, ذَلِكَ is pointing to far. And Quran is very close, and this is the word that it points to Quran. Why Allah points to the far? Why Allah said ذَلِكَ, which is pointing to far? What is the reason for that? A scholar said, at the same time that Quran is so close, but the meaning of that is very, very deep. Because of the greatness of Quran and the greatness of the meaning of Quran, Allah and will not reach, we cannot achieve it easily. Because of that, Allah has brought the word ذَلِكَ and to show the greatness of Quran. Another message, when Allah says ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, this holy book, there is no doubt in it. It will tell us that when a person wants to guide other people, he should be very firm and should talk very strongly. If we advise other people and we start to doubt about whatever we say or to show our weaknesses, we cannot help the others. And since Allah wants to guide people, He talks very firm and He says, definitely there is no any kinds of rape and doubt in Quran, and it is a guide for muttaqeen, for those who guard against evil. When Allah says هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, we understood that Quran is a guide to those who guard against evil. It means Quran is useful for those who wants to get benefit out of that. Otherwise, Quran is not going to help them at all. And for those who are following the truth and are believers, okay, maybe we ask, what is the benefit of Quran for those people? For prophets, for imam? We should say that Quran, the guidance have different levels. As much as we go and follow the truth, we go to higher and higher level of guidance. Allah says in chapter Muhammad, verse 17, وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى. And as for those who follow the right direction, Allah increases them in guidance. It means those who wants to get the truth and get the direction, Allah is going to guide them. And when a person is guided, Allah will take him to another step if he practices it. So the guidance have different levels, and we can go from one level to another level. We should ask Allah to help us to find the truth and to follow the truth, to know the Quran and to follow and practice the Quran. There are many, many people who have the Quran at home, but unfortunately, they don't recite it. They clean everything every other day, every day. But Quran, if you ask them, where is the Holy Quran? They say, I should find it. It is for a long time, I didn't open it. Let alone to recite Quran, let alone to practice Quran. We should understand that by this way, Quran is not going to help us. And by this way, that we don't remember Quran, we are not going to have peace and tranquility. Allah says, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. Be sure that only the peace will be achieved by remembering Allah. And the Quran is the best tool to help us to remember Him. You can try yourself. Recite a few verses of Quran and see how much you feel peace. Every sentence of Quran will give you positive issues, positive atmosphere to you, will give you the peace, and you will enjoy it when you recite it. The world will practice the remembering of Quran when you remember Allah. We ask Allah to help us to recite more and to practice more and to teach our kids. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.